When to turn down one-liners. Everyone, I'm Matthew Cornwell with Get Taped here in Atlanta, Georgia, one of Atlanta's original audition taping services, which I co-own with my impossibly funny wife, Brooke. LOL. And now on to our topic. When to turn down one-liners. Let me preface this discussion by saying that all of my thoughts on this matter are geared towards actors who live in the southeastern market. Why does that matter? Well, the market here in Atlanta and the southeastern region is uniquely different than Los Angeles. And I'll point out those differences along the way. For every actor getting started in the TV film world, you will inevitably see a lot of one-line roles in those early years. Well, 1 to 5 lines to be more general. And in those early years, before your first major booking, you are excited, and rightfully so. Heck, when I was 20 years old, the mere idea of speaking a syllable in a major motion picture or television show seemed unattainable. If 20-year-old Matt could see me now, that'd be kind of weird because that would mean time travel was possible. Anywho, after you've gotten a few of those under 5 roles under your belt, you start to crave bigger roles. Your feeling is that you've earned it, you've paid your dues, etc. And then you finally do book that bigger role. You spend 2 weeks or 5 weeks on a motion picture. You get a recurring role of 2 or 3 episodes on a TV show. And it's intoxicating. You gain a new understanding of why you're in this career. And you want to keep contributing in bigger ways with your future roles. And then something happens. After that first big booking, your next 5 auditions are back to one-liners or 5-liners. And your reaction might range from disappointment to overtly offended. What? A one-liner from the same casting office that just cast me in a recurring top-of-show guest star role? Clearly this is a mistake, right? This is a mistake, right? It's not a mistake. No, it's not a mistake. Your agent wants you to keep booking. The casting office wants to keep booking you. They're not trying to offend you because, quite frankly, they're not thinking about the trajectory of your career. So they're not putting a lot of consideration into the size of this role versus the previous one that you just booked. And this is where some actors start to have conversations with their agent. Hey, after that big booking, I really don't want to do one-liners anymore, so if you could just stop submitting me for those, that'd be great. Thanks. And most agents will respect that. And if you have a manager, they may have had that conversation with you preemptively because they are more concerned with shaping your career long term. Side note, I'll save the discussion about managers for another day. It's a nuanced topic, especially for Southeastern actors. So we'll talk about that some other time. I'll assume for the rest of this video that any Southeastern actors watching do not have a manager. So you theoretically get no pushback from your reps and convince them to stop submitting you for anything less than a guest star or recurring co-star or a large supporting role in a movie. Great. Smash cut to 6 months later. 0 auditions. Cue the existential crisis. My career's over. I might as well just give up. Calm down. This was to be expected. Remember, the trajectory of your acting career is not some linear path to the top. Nothing in life is that predictable, and especially this industry. To plot the average career path of a Southeastern actor, imagine the most volatile investment, like Tesla stock or Bitcoin. Look at these charts. This is your acting career. Look at those highs and lows. One day you're on your path to the red carpet, and the next day, you're wanting to give up. Because unfortunately, the old adage of work begets work doesn't always apply. And here in the Southeast, there's even more ambiguity to that trajectory of your career. See, in LA, if you're with a starter agency that is only submitting you for under 5 roles, eventually you will graduate to an agency that focuses more on guest star roles. And at that better, bigger agency, presumably, they won't submit you for those smaller roles anymore. So you are systematically working your way up through the different tiers in the TV and film world. Not the case here in the Southeast. Every agency submits for every size role. And there's no real discrimination on the part of casting as to what is a co-star level agency or a guest star level agency. So now you're having another existential crisis. Did I make a mistake giving up all those small roles? Maybe. So Matt, what's the answer to the question you posed in this video? When is it right to stop submitting for one-liner auditions or under 5 auditions? It's an impossible question to answer because my question back to you is, how much do you want to work? Because if your goal is to walk the red carpet and you will settle for nothing less, well then why are you still in the Southeast? You need to be transitioning to a bigger market like Los Angeles. But if you want a sustainable career here in the Southeast and you want to work consistently year after year, making insurance and having a steady stream of residual income every quarter, then you may need to consider a different philosophy on those smaller roles. I worked 5 weeks on a film where I barely had 5 lines. Brooke worked 3 episodes on cable's #1 drama at the time, based on a role that initially only had a couple lines in the first episode. And there are countless anecdotes from actors and casting directors on roles that started off small that grew into something much bigger. And if you're thinking, like sometimes I do, yeah, but that's the exception to the rule. That's not the norm. I can't bank on the possibility of a tiny role becoming something bigger. Plus, if it's a TV show, I don't want to waste my one chance on that show with a tiny role, right? Good point. So here's the flip side. Imagine you do book that tiny role and it gets cut. Well, that sucks. Or does it? Because even though you don't end up with footage for your reel or that ego boost when people start to congratulate you on social media, you are now immediately available to book that show again. Hopefully with a bigger role next time. That's a win-win. So again, if you're an actor in the Southeast, be careful about trying to level up your career by cutting out smaller opportunities. Because if you do, be prepared for the number of auditions you get to drastically drop, but your booking percentage to stay the same. For example, if you get, let's say, 30 auditions in a 6-month period normally, and you book 1 out of those 30, well, once you cut out all the smaller roles, you may now get only 10 auditions a year, and still only book 1 out of 30. So for those of you who hate math, before cutting out the smaller roles, you're booking once every 6 months. After you cut out those small roles, you're now booking once every 3 years. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but you need to mentally be prepared for a drastic reduction in the number of auditions you receive and potentially a much longer time between bookings. I'll leave you with the approach that I take to my own career. I've been through all the ups and downs mentioned in this video thus far. And now I just look for the joy in the process, and then to express gratitude and thanks for the opportunities that do come my way, big or small. Nowadays, I don't turn down much at all, and when I do, it's because of scheduling reasons or something else very specific to my circumstances. And instead of lamenting to my agent, why am I not getting those series regular auditions? I create my own opportunities by writing my own content and casting myself. Boom. Nothing feels better than saying yes to yourself. And it takes all the pressure off of waiting for someone else to give you permission to act. And speaking of creating your own content, when you do write your own stuff, you get a new perspective on those under 5 roles. They are important. When every penny counts, both for your low-budget indie project and the full-budget studio projects, you realize how important a character must be to not be cut out of the story. And you need great actors to fill those roles. And so when you hire a good actor in that under 5 role, and they not only give you what you want, but they over-deliver, it makes you want to expand their role if possible, bring them back for a future episode if it's an episodic, or definitely think of them for your next film. So maybe the old saying is right. There are no small roles, only small actors. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on set.